Hmm. Well, well, well. All right then. All right then. Let's see if we can kick off this Lord's Day right. Although I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, what's up? What's up? What's up? It is the Sunday again. The Lord's Day. The day that Christian says, hey, this day's a little more convenient for us, God. Let's make this one the Sabbath. And that's what they did. And today, that's what they still do. Anyway, what's up, everybody? We're going to try to work in a little episode here, and it's going to be, unfortunately, probably extraordinarily short. Because I have to go leave and drive for quite a long time. Good morning, no comment. Liddy, what's up? What is up? Good morning to all. Hopefully, we'll be having us a quick, nice quick debate here. Because I do not have long today, but that's cool. We're going to do we'll call this what would we call this? Call it a mini episode. Call it that. How about that? Appreciate it. Thank you. Appreciate the heart there. Get the old... Yeah, I saw that too. It tickled me shitless. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. And to pop up on the Mizo too. That was pretty awesome, man. Pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Yeah. We'll take that. We'll take that. Even though I technically lost the debate with the guy, that's cool. That's the whole goal here, right? Is to get them thinking, I reckon. I reckon that's it. Affordable pest control. Hey, affordable pest control, did you request up on purpose? Oh yeah, oh man, I lose debates all the time. Technically, I mean that guy, the guy who was deconstruction, he definitely beat me. That's for sure. Of course, my goal is to get them admit that the baby bashing and slavery and stuff's okay. So if they don't admit that, obviously I lost. Which win for humanity, lost for ape. I'll take that one all day. You can go to church. I'm not. Oh, okay. Just a second then. Pest control. Somebody else said something too. Jesus fulfilled almost 400 prophecies. What are you talking about? I'm talking about Jesus fulfilled 0 prophecies is what I'm talking about. Where do you even get 400 in the entire New Testament? It directly relates him to like maybe 40, 45 of them. So, what up, error? What up? All right, let's get this little day rolling here and see what happens. Let's bring up Affordable's got something to say apparently. Let's bring him on up here. What up, Affordable? What you got today, buddy?
Well, I got some really hard evidence to support scientific backing and the consensus of the scientific community that the universe actually has a beginning, debunking the atheist myth that the universe has always been. So if you're interested in that, I'm interested in talking fact and science. I'll provide you the proof. You can look at it yourself in your own time. And I've also got very good evidence that math proves or points in the direction of a divine designer.
We can do the science thing.
Okay, I'm going to post it for you. You could copy and paste that. That video is going to absolutely blow your mind. I mean, literally. It's only about, say, 10 minutes long, but well worth your time. And I think if we just talk flat science and get off the myths and, all the other BS, that goes with it and just look at just the facts. I think let's take it one step at a time. Why don't we go that route? Why don't you look at that, and then the next time I pass through, I'll get your thoughts on it. But I've crushed very intelligent atheists with that. They did not know how to handle that scientific bit of information because it's so profound.
Yeah. What's it about?
Well, there's a NASA software that a lot of scientists tap into. It's called MAPS. And both the atheist scientists as well as the theists all agree with a general consensus that there is a specific origin to the universe, a time dated, and then they map it out by billions of years in each layer. And this has been hidden for a long time, but it has just now come out. And the guy that produces it, that's narrating it, he's an MIT scientist. And I mean, very highly credible guy. I mean, very calmly, rationally lays out the science, the facts, and then where you can go and look at it for yourself and prove it for yourself.
All right, cool. Sounds good.
So why don't we start there? Just, I don't want to get into a lot of him-hawing around, but I think if you look at that, I think if we just prove the validity of a divine designer, that there was an origin, a beginning to the universe, I think that that's a good foothold to start talking about whether or not there's a divine designer.
You might could turn me into a theist, who knows?
Yeah, then we could talk about the other things on whether or not you like him or not. You know what I mean? But I think the big consensus is just whether or not one exists.
Sure. Well, cool. Sounds good, man.
Yep, nice talking to you. You have a good one.
Back at you, buddy. Well, y'all heard it there. They found origin of the universe. This ought to be the biggest news in history. Somebody proved an origin of the universe. That ought to be like world news right now, I would think. Anyway, let's see. Oh, well, I guess we don't have somebody. I thought we had somebody else in the queue there, but I guess not. Anyway, let's see. Don't have very long, so hopefully we can get somebody in here to give us a somewhat quick debate here. Oh, yeah, I don't know. They posted something in there. Right. Anyway, if you are a Christian or a Hebrew Israelite, you want to talk about one of these topics up here with a low-tier middle school dropout atheist, that's me. If you want to talk at us, then come on up here and do it. I've got actually not very long. We're going to try to get a little episode today. So we'll see how it goes, see if we can get at least one little talk in here. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. Get the old algo flowing. Maybe we'll get somebody else in here to talk to. Sunday mornings are usually decent if we get on here at this time, I suppose. And let's see. Oh, no. Ain't nobody there. Ain't nobody there. Ain't nobody there. I thought there were, though. Anyway, we gotta get somebody in here quick because I got a 9-hour drive to jump on here for long. So hopefully we can get somebody in here and get some more deconverts going like we already did there. I'm sure somebody else saw. I'm pretty proud of myself there. I'm also proud of the other fella. Driving down to old Florida. Driving to the Florida for the spring break. It's going to be a long drive. I cannot... Actually, driving down there is usually not that bad. It's coming back up that's quite ridiculous. I don't know why, but most of the time when you drive down there, it's pretty wide open. But driving back is not the case. not the case. But we're coming back on a weekday too, so maybe it won't be that bad this time. We'll see how it goes, though. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, hopefully within the next few minutes we can get somebody in here to talk to and get at least one little cool conversation. I'm still planning on doing some lives while I'm down there, but it'll just kind of depend on what we're doing and all that, I guess. But we'll see. We'll see, though. I'm probably still going to be on in the mornings, maybe even the afternoons. Who knows? Might jump on in the middle of the night. I ain't sure. Depends on how we roll. Good morning. Hello, love animal. I also love animals. Love them to death. We are taking our little dog with us. And public's not really her thing, but I'm sure she'll survive. Anyway, if you are a Christian or Hebrew Israelite, come on up real quick. Let's get us a little something going on here. Maybe we can get something cool in here before we have to run on all quickly. Maybe. Actually, the algorithm's doing pretty good right now, so certainly we'll get somebody to talk to. Certainly someone can take down this low tier middle school dropout atheist. Wouldn't that be interesting? I lose all the time. Y'all saw the fella on the mezzo who deconstructed. He beat me in a debate. So let's see if we can get a decent one in here, man. What have we got in the store here, by the way? What's up? What's up? Howdy, 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 howdy. Come on through, Christians. Need a Christian to talk to before we head to Florida. What's up, y'all? Good morning. Well, maybe we'll get somebody in here. Lit up air. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate the shit out of you. As usual. Appreciate the hell out of that. Join one time in 7 days. Well, maybe we got somebody here. Let's see. I think anyway.
Yo, it's good.
Hey, what's up, man?
I believe that God is just.
Oh, cool. So would you worship God if he wasn't just?
But I worship God I don't believe it's logically possible. But I would say no.
You don't think it's logically possible for God to be unjust?
Well, yeah, if God is in nature just, it would be impossible for him to become unjust.
Oh. Well, would you say God is unjust if he punishes innocent people for what the guilty party did?
I don't think he punishes innocent people with the guilty people because I don't necessarily believe it's a punishment. But
well, he does it actually in place of the guilty people, so that would definitely be unjust, right?
I don't believe it's a punishment. Just because something bad happens to you doesn't mean necessarily you're being punished. In the same way bad stuff happened to Job, but for a greater good.
Well, that wasn't for a greater good. That was just so God could prove a
Well,
point to
Job,
the devil, apparently.
wasn't Job replenish everything that he lost? Wasn't it doubled?
No, not everything. God let Satan kill Job's whole family. And he just gave him more kids.
Got a
he
new
didn't
family.
get the kids that he lost back. The other people were still murdered.
Yeah, he got a new family. Who's to say that his family wasn't evil or wicked?
What are you talking about?
Who's to say his family wasn't evil or wicked as previous?
The text says that.
They were completely innocent?
Yeah, all of them were. It was just a bet that God was making to flex his dick on Satan. It wasn't.
Whoa. Where does it say that?
There's nothing just about it.
Where does it say that his whole family was completely innocent?
Where does it say they were evil or did anything at all?
Exactly. That's why I asked the question, who's to say they were innocent or evil?
It says Job was blameless and
I'm not
upright in the
talking
sight
about
of the
Job. I'm
Lord.
talking
He
about
was
his
making,
family
I
that
know,
you
he
just
was
brought up.
making I'm getting to there. He was making sacrifices for his family. It doesn't say his family done anything wrong. It doesn't say his family were evil. So we
Cool.
have no reason at all to assume contextually that it was anything about that because it wasn't. God doesn't say I'm punishing them for being mean. It says, hey, devil, I bet my dude here can do better than you. It was like literally about just a
Yeah, because
showing
the
off.
writers of the text only know what happens to people. They don't necessarily the exact reason why it happens. Because still the writers
Well,
of
it
the
gives
text
the
are not
reason most of
God.
the time.
So they could see an event happen and not record why it happened.
Oh, well, God definitely punishes innocent people for the crimes of the guilty.
Okay, what do you mean by punish? What do you think punishing?
Do you know what a generational punishment is?
Yeah, of course I know what a generational punishment. That's not my question. I'm asking you a question. Why are you asking me another question?
To prove the point.
Just answer my question and then you can prove the point afterwards.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll put it in the statement form then. So God punishes the innocent because he punishes sons for the sins of the father when he says punishing sons for the sins of the father is bad and you're not supposed to do that.
Yeah, first of all, I don't think you understand what a punishment is. For a punishment to even
I think I
exist,
do.
an
That's a weird
offense has
thing
to
to
take.
say.
Wait,
So sin happens and God punishes people for it. It says that. So I'm not sure where you're getting this. This isn't punishments, or I don't know what a punishment is.
Yeah, but punishment, quite literally, you have to have an offense to be punished, or it's not a punishment.
Well, not if you're innocent. You didn't do anything.
So,
did
so
you?
it's illogical to say that an innocent person can get a punishment because then they would have to do something to get that punishment. But on top of
An
that,
innocent person did not do something to get the punishment. That's the whole point.
I don't think there has to be just because an innocent person is suffering. I don't believe it has to be a punishment because if it's for a greater good, that the innocent person is going to benefit from.
Ain't no for greater good. There ain't no greater good here. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So when I work out or do something to get a gain and I feel pain during that time, do you think I'm punished? I'm being punished?
No.
Exactly. So if someone goes through something to get something better, are they getting punished?
Oh, okay. Sure. So let's see if that holds up to scrutiny here. So in 2 Samuel chapter 12,
I
David
just
gets-
asked you a
or-
question and you really didn't answer it. The second question.
You said
Like,
something about working out.
You're bringing up 2 Samuel. What does that have to do with my question?
Yeah, I'm going to give you an actual case of
That has nothing to
here.
do with my question. Stop trying to run to the question. Stop trying to run to the Bible. when you
Okay,
can't
what
answer
was
a
your question again? Sorry. What was your question then?
So it was a two-part question, just to reiterate. If I go to the gym and work out,
I
do you
said
think
no.
I'm being punished? You said no.
No, I said no.
So that's why I said that if somebody, do you think that because of that, using that same concept, just because someone suffers, does that mean they're being punished?
Nope, never said they were.
Okay, so you don't believe that. You don't believe that just because someone suffers, they're being
Yeah, you want to move on to an actual case that I'm talking about now?
Yeah, let's move
Okay,
on.
perfect. 2 Samuel chapter 12. David gets very offensive to God because he commits adultery with Bathsheba. And God literally tells him, I'm going to put away your sin, but the sins must be confounded here. So what he does is punishes their infant child instead of David. He makes the child very ill for a week and then unalives it personally. So that is punishing the innocent for the crimes of the guilty.
Well, I don't think the child necessarily suffers because I believe all children go to heaven.
Oh, well, it says the Lord struck the child and it became very ill and it died a week later. So at minimum, it suffered for a week here.
Yeah, but it gets greater. It's for a greater good in heaven.
The baby's schmurdered. It doesn't say the baby goes to heaven.
Not necessarily doesn't have to say, but the Bible clearly states the fact that babies go to heaven.
Well, either way, this baby took the punishment for David. It straight up says God puts away David's sin. But because you have scorned the Lord, the baby has to go. And God unalives a baby.
Yeah, so if the baby lives in paradise for the rest of eternity, how's that a punishment?
Yeah, but what was the baby guilty of?
I don't believe the baby's guilty. What are you talking about?
Okay,
Do you even
then
understand the
the
point I'm trying to
baby-
make? Do you understand the point I'm trying to make?
words, English?
Yeah, do you understand the point I'm trying to make?
Okay,
This is
was
a
this
completely
baby
irrelevant
innocent
question.
of the crime that it was
I never said the
executed
baby was
for, or
guilty
was
of
it
anything.
guilty? Okay, then it was innocent, right?
I don't believe the baby is being punished.
Of course you don't. Okay, so can you explain to me what exactly is happening here if this baby is not being punished for what David did?
Yeah, if you was listening to anything I said, you would have understood it. But let me repeat what I said. I don't believe the baby in this situation is being punished here because when it dies, it goes straight to heaven.
The baby took the punishment for the David's
I
sin.
don't believe it. Why are you saying it? Why are you repeating yourself? I don't believe it's
Because
punishment.
God says that David has sinned and your sins are put away. But because you have scorned the Lord, the baby must die. So this baby is dying as a direct result of someone else's sin. I know that's hard
it's
to
not as a result of someone
there,
else's sin. Where do you come to the conclusion that it's a punishment?
That it says that.
That it says that. This is circular, dude. Does it?
You have got to be kidding. Are you just being
Does it?
weird
Does
troll?
it? Does it say it, dude?
Yeah, it does. Maybe you ought to fucking read it.
Yeah, I read it, dude.
You did. What's it say?
Does not say what you just said. It does not say that.
Oh, well, tell me what it says since you read it and I got it.
Okay,
wrong.
I got
You
it.
can correct me right now.
I have it
Tell us
opened
what it all
up,
says.
dude. I have it.
Yeah, tell us what it all says.
Yeah. Then David said to
Yeah.
Nathan, I have sinned against the Lord. Nathan replied, the Lord has taken away your sin. You are not going to die. But because you're doing this, you have shown utter contempt for the Lord. The son born to you will die. And after Nathan had gone home.
Somebody's dying for this sin, but it's not the person who committed it, is it?
Yeah, but the baby's not necessarily suffering when it dies because it goes to heaven.
The baby
how's the baby going to heaven? How's the baby going to heaven?
That it did not commit. He executed an infant child for the sin of David. That's punishing the child for what David did. Is that a difficult concept?
No, it's not. Because this baby, do you understand? If the baby's going to heaven, how's it suffering? You're not answering my question. You're not engaging in the conversation.
Listen, God decided he needed another baby in heaven.
You're not engaging in the
conversation. Is that what
conversation,
happened
dude.
here? God just said, hey, this little baby here,
You're not
I need
engaging
him
in
in
the
heaven.
conversation.
Why did this baby die?
Why did this baby die?
Yeah,
I think there could be multiple reasons the baby. How do we know the exact reason the baby died?
Why does it say the baby died? Why does it say the baby died?
The mentioned reason, like I said earlier, the writers don't have full context of every story, dude.
What context do we have?
Of what is only visible. So we know that David sinned and the baby died.
According to the text, why did the baby die? Why is this baby being unalived according to the information that we have in the text?
Well, died to disease.
What?
Disease, retard.
Is this really the best you got? You're just being a weird troll. Nobody's this stupid, really.
No, dude, I just answered your question.
No, you didn't. Just drop yourself back.
Did I not say disease? Isn't that the reason he died?
Who caused the disease and why?
That's not. You said why did the baby die? And I answered
this is why
question.
You're full of shit, and everybody
How's this full of
knows
shit?
it.
I answered your question directly.
Because you are dancing around everything but addressing.
Yeah, but you could have answered one question I asked. So dude.
I answered all your stupid.
No, you did not. You danced. I asked you a question, and you started talking about a Bible verse. Dude.
This is just ridiculous.
How did you get a Bible verse out of my question?
You refuse, like most Christians, to address what's actually being said here.
Yeah, like I said, I believe there could be multiple reasons, but yeah.
Oh, okay. So what is the reason that it gives us?
Yeah, it doesn't even directly say a reason, but what it does say is David wasn't going to die and the baby.
What a pussy ass coward you are. So get out of here. All right, let's try somebody else here. Maybe somebody's got a coherent thought in their head. Texas, you there?
Yeah, hello.
Hey, what's up, buddy? Are you over 18?
Yes. Honestly, I only just jumped in because I caught the last bit of that stuff. And I just think it's ironic that he mentioned that, the authors only know specific things about stuff. And so are the authors not writing the word of God then? Like, right. Either it's the word of God or it's fallible.
Well, I get that it's a difficult position to deal with, but just coming up here and making a fool out of yourself ain't gonna make it any better.
Yeah, like he was saying, it's like, okay, so the authors don't know necessarily.
Anyway, Texas,
why
you're not a Christian.
No, I'm not.
All right. Well, sorry, man. I
Former Christian.
ain't got much time here, so I don't have much time to talk about that stuff. But we got to move on and get some debates real quick before I have to head out. Hopefully, somebody capable of following the simplest of logic. That would be great. Let's see here. What's happening? Okay, let's try. All right,
Hello.
Dynamic, what's up, buddy?
So you said that God is evil.
Yeah, just to say, are you over 18?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Are you one of the Christians or Hebrew Israelites?
You're a Christian.
Cool. So which one of these topics you want to talk about?
You said God is evil. How's God evil?
I didn't say he's evil. I said he's cruel and unjust.
Yeah, is cruel not synonymous with evil?
Sure.
Is cruel not synonymous with evil?
Sure.
So how is God evil?
He's evil because he does profoundly immoral and wicked stuff, which is the definition of evil. Like murdering babies that have nothing to do with the crime they're being murdered for.
So babies being murdered, can you show me where God physically murdered babies?
Yeah, we was just talking about one. God strikes David and Bathsheba's infant child sick for a whole week, and then it dies.
Yeah, so can you tell me what was the reason for that to happen?
Because David committed adultery with Bathsheba.
Okay, so what is this punishment for adultery, according to the text?
Wait, what now?
What's the punishment for adultery according to the text?
Being stoned to death.
Beautiful. So does David know the law? Yes or no?
Yeah, he knows it.
Okay, beautiful. So when David commits these certain acts, do you believe that it shall go unjust, or it shall be there
Yeah,
shall
who
be justice
committed the
involved
act?
according to the law?
Who committed the adultery?
Yeah, so the action of adultery would be referred
hold on.
to
Just
David.
yes or no for the moment. It was David, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so who got punished for the crime?
So are you going to let me finish what I was saying? So since David follows the Torah says that if you commit adultery, you'll be liable to death, correct?
Yeah, and he wasn't. A baby was.
Let me finish. So
You stopped talking.
if according to the law, adultery has an punishment or has to be answered to, then the death of the infant child which was produced out of adultery, whether is the subject being punished or the predecessor being punished, is irrelevant because they're both within the action.
It's not
of
irrelevant
adultery.
because the infant didn't commit the crime. The person who committed the crime
Okay, beautiful.
the person who was committed the crime was not punished for it.
Was the child he was punished because his son was literally killed, bro? Like what? So answer the question.
What did the baby do?
Was the baby a product of adultery? Yes or no?
No.
The baby was a product of adultery.
A product. It wasn't part of the crime. David committed the crime, not the baby. The baby was innocent. It is a baby.
Yeah,
they cannot even hold their head up.
Yeah, I did.
Was the baby innocent or guilty of the crime it was executed for?
Can you answer my question?
Was it a product
of the? Was it the product
I've already
of the
said
crime?
yes 3 times now.
Okay,
so if you could just move on and answer my question now. Is the baby innocent or guilty of the crime that it was executed for?
Beautiful. So if you're saying that the baby,
can you answer the question
I'm going to answer.
It's just a yes or no. Was the
don't panic.
Innocent or guilty?
I'm going to answer. So if the baby was a product, all my days, bro, you gotta let me answer.
There's one word you need to say, and it's either innocent or guilty. That's it. That's all you need to say.
It's not forced dichotomy. I'm going to expand on my answer. So The baby
You're going
was a
to
product.
answer, and then you can explain: was the baby innocent or guilty of the child, or for the crime that it was executed for?
So if you're saying innocent in a sense of committing the act, then of course it was
All right.
guilty.
Okay.
I mean, it was
Perfect.
innocent in the sense of
Correct
committing the
answer.
act.
Yes.
So let
Yep.
me expand. So since the baby was a product of a sin that equals death, the baby in this scenario equals death because the baby is a product of sin and that sin equals
Yeah,
death.
but the baby
By
didn't
default,
commit the
let me
sin.
finish.
The
Shut
baby
up and let
was
me finish, bro.
innocent.
Shut
The
up and let
baby
me
was
finish, bro.
innocent. It
Shut
was
up and let me
innocent.
finish, bro. So
It was innocent.
if sin equals death, then the baby is the outcome of that sin. Then by default, it will have to equal death. So the baby dying is a punishment for that sin. So whether the baby was innocent or not, it's still a product of that sin. GG's bake.
Yeah, and the baby was innocent. So thank you for admitting that.
The baby was innocent, but was still a product of that sin, and the
Yeah.
product of that sin
Yeah. Anything else you
has to equal death.
want to say?
Has to equal death. Big.
We
Big.
get it. Yeah.
Big. You silly, disgusting apostate, bro. You filthy apostate. You filthy, disgusting apostate, bro. You make my skin
Yeah,
crawl,
I'm the
bro.
filthy one here.
You make my skin crawl, bro.
We see that the Christians are the ones here defending innocent babies being murdered, and the mean old atheist is over here saying it's wrong. I'm so filthy.
The mean old atheist. The mean old atheist
defending
cannot even
innocent
tell me how
baby
it's wrong.
murder.
Can you tell me according to what standard it's wrong? According to what standard?
Yeah, because God is murdering
according to what
babies
standard?
literally
Okay, so according
a crime that they
to
did
what
not
standard?
commit.
According to what standard is wrong? Can you tell me what standard you're
According
appealing
to the standard of justice, punishing the innocent of the
Oh,
guilty. According to God's own standard, he's violating his
according to
own standard.
Okay, beautiful. So are you appealing to the justice of God? Yes or no?
Yeah, I'm saying
So
he
you're appealing to
violates
the
his own standard of justice.
so your reasoning for seeing is wrong is by the reasoning of God, correct?
Yeah, he violates his own standards.
Big.
Yeah,
So you have no standard outside the reasoning of God, correct?
yeah.
Yeah, you're big. This
Yeah,
guy's so
now,
big.
so what do you got to say about God
Big.
violating his own standard of justice?
He didn't violate his own
Nothing to
standard
say
of
about
justice.
that. Nothing
He
to
didn't
add.
violate.
Nothing at all. Dynamic.
You silly clown. You clown. How did he
Mr.
violate
Dynamic,
his
are
own?
you there?
How did
Mr.
he
Dynamic?
violate his own justice when he literally paid for the sin?
Because he murdered an innocent
disgusting
baby,
thief.
and I know
You
that's cool with you
filthy,
guys. Y'all don't seem to give a
atheist.
fuck about any of that, but
You
yeah, I mean,
filthy
some people do.
apostate.
Like us filthy, yes, us filthy atheists don't like babies being murdered, where the believers don't seem to give a shit.
You don't like babies being murdered, but you just said according to God's law. You just said you're appealing to God's
Yeah,
law.
so why does
If you're
God
appealing to
violate
God's
his own
morality,
standard? Yeah, so why does God
if
violate his
you're
own
appealing,
standard of
yo, shut your
justice?
bitch ass up when I'm talking, boy. When you're appealing,
Oh no!
when you're appealing to God's
He told me to
authority,
shut my bitch ass up. Boy, the Holy Spirit moves strong in these believers, don't it? That's what believers do. They come up here and tell people to shut their bitch ass up. Spoken like a true Christian, buddy. Y'all the real glorious crowd up in here. All right, who is next here? Let's see. Yeah, that's what they do. They come up here and crash out and cuss at us. Filthy apostates. And then we're the bad ones. Let's see, anybody that like is thinking about being a Christian or anything, when they watch this and they see one of these team members for Christianity come up here and defend baby murder and crash out and call people names like they're in third grade, it doesn't say much for the Holy Spirit or your silly religion, does it? All right, let's try the next one. Sean, are you there?
Hiya, how are you?
So I'm all right. Are you over 18?
Yes, I am.
Awesome. Are you one of the Christians or Hebrew Israelites?
I'm a Christian.
Cool. So which one of these topics you want to talk about?
I mean, it's up to you. I was just here to investigate like your proposition and why, and then maybe just flow from that.
Oh, that's cool. So do you think God condones slavery and grape?
And when you say slavery, do you mean chattel slavery?
That's exactly what I mean.
Oh, okay. No. And rape
Oh, okay.
absolutely not.
So you know that chattel slavery is owning people as property, right?
Yes.
Okay. So
And
if I read you a
auctioning
passage that says you can own people as property, that's
and
God condoning
auctioning
chattel
them
slavery, isn't it?
and auctioning them off as property, etc.
Yeah. So
Okay.
it says, as for the male and
Wait,
female
hold
slaves
on,
whom you may
stop.
have, it
Before
is
we
from the
go,
nations
hold
around
on.
you that you may acquire male and female
Before we
slaves. You may
go,
also acquire. I'm trying to read the Bible.
Lisa,
if
no.
you'll
I was
excuse
just
me for
saying,
a
before
moment
we
here.
go, can we establish a few things? Like, I appreciate you want to get there, and like, I don't have too long, but we will have the time to do that. But I just wanted to establish a few things before we go ahead. You're an atheist, yes?
Yeah.
And specifically when it comes to your stance on atheism, you feel this way, of course, about a range of faiths, yes?
In regards to gods, yeah.
Like, so is Islam, Hinduism, etc.? Yes.
Yeah, no
Okay.
gods at all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fantastic. And what you're about to read, is it Old Testament or New Testament?
Old Testament.
Okay, yeah. Book and scripture, let's go.
Leviticus 25. As for the male and female slaves whom you may have, it is from the nations around you that you may acquire male and female slaves. You may also acquire them from the aliens residing with you and from their families who are with you, who have been born to your land, and they may be your property. You may keep them as a possession for your children after you, for them to inherit as property. These you may treat as slaves, but as for your fellow Israelites, no one shall rule over the other with harshness. And then we have Exodus 21, verse 7. When a man sells his daughter as a slave, she shall not go out as the male slaves do. So this is clearly condoning slavery.
And who's saying this? This is from the mouth of God?
It's God. Yes, the laws of God. It's Levitic law. And
no. Let's go into that.
Yeah.
Let's go into it. So let's go to chapter 24. And then we'll read on to chapter 25, and then we'll go to the verse, or we'll stop or read maybe a few scriptures after the verse that you read. And then we'll discuss that, and then we'll go to Exodus and do likewise, yeah?
Wait a minute, what are you about to read?
Going to Leviticus 24. And then usually, like, if we're gonna
You've cut out there or something. I can't hear you.
exegesis or take it out of context, if you get what I mean.
Well, we didn't hear none of that. Unfortunately, you were cut out or something.
Oh, you can't hear me?
We couldn't hear you. I can hear you now, but I couldn't hear.
Yeah, sorry. I think the service. So usually, just to kind of negate any eisegesis, or any like theological malpractice, what I tend to do is read 24, 25, and maybe like a few scriptures after. And I just kind of gave the
Shan, are you just saying? Yeah, are you just saying that you don't know this passage, and you're saying that proper exegetical procedure would be to read the context and understand it? Because that just sounds like you're admitting you don't know this chapter.
You just cut out for me. Oh no, I've read Leviticus.
Well, I mean, let's assume that we all know the context. Let's assume that we all know the context, and then you just tell us why the context, ma'am. You just tell us why the context leads you to believe that this is not chattel slavery. Yeah, I'm not going to let you do, just basic truisms up here. Like, we need to read in context and we need to understand it properly. Like, that's just stalling. Just say you don't know the passage.
I think that the funny thing is, when we're having a conversation, the proposition that you're already coming with is you don't have the intelligence nor the knowledge of this passage to be able to defend it.
Absolutely. That's why we're asking you to tell us what it actually means. So go for it.
Yeah, not necessarily true. But we can go into that.
Go ahead. Tell us what Leviticus 25 is. Tell us about the context.
The context of Leviticus 25 is essentially people who are non-Israelites.
No.
Did you just cut me off?
Yes, I did, because you're wrong.
people who are
Yeah.
non-Israelites taking, people who are Israelites taking non-Israelites into captivity,
No.
and being able to have them
So
as
you're
slaves
over
and
two
bond
here.
and bond servants.
Yeah, you're over two here.
In the okay, I'm not gonna say, I'm gonna let you go.
No, I already went. I told you that you're wrong. Go ahead and try again.
Okay, since I'm wrong, why don't you correct me, Joshua?
Sure. So Leviticus 25 is primarily focused on the Sabbath year, right? It's talking about Jubilee.
Well, that's the title of both chapters, so I can see that.
No,
So
ma'am,
we
it's
don't have
not.
to
No,
start
ma'am,
there.
it's not.
So let's actually go
It's
into the
just 25.
context rather than
Yes. So
reading
now
the
you're 0
title.
for 3. You're 0 for 3. So if you want, hey,
Let's
ma'am,
actually go
let's
into the
just, yeah,
context
if you
rather
want
than
me,
reading the
ma'am, if you want
title.
me to
I think
educate you
that's a
on
little
this,
bit.
you
I
let me
think that's
know.
a bit self-explanatory.
Yeah, you let me know if you want me to educate you on this.
Oh, go ahead
Okay, then go ahead and
without
mute up.
circular reasoning.
Yeah, mute
Without
up.
circular
I don't
reasoning
know
would
if
be
like, you know what
okay.
circular
That
reasoning is.
that would
Mute
be
up.
okay.
Okay, I'll do it for you. So Leviticus 25 essentially is walking through. In just a minute, sweetheart. So Leviticus 25 is walking the Israelites through the Sabbath year, which is every seventh year the land is to lie fallow, right? They're not supposed to do anything with it, and God is going to provide for them. There's a section in there that then talks about every 7 cycles. You're supposed to, after the 49th year, have the 50th year, which is the year of Jubilee, in which all people are released that are Israelites, right, from their debt, and any land is to be returned to them. Then, starting down, I think in about 35. Actually, there's a section before that, but the big one starts around 35. You have an Israelite that is falling into greater levels of poverty. So the first thing they have to do a little bit earlier on is if they become poor and they sell off some of their land, here's what you're supposed to do in order to return the land back to them, and how the Israelites are supposed to treat them around them. Then the text goes in to say if they have to take out loans because they can't make ends meet, here's how you're supposed to give them said loans, right? In 39 to 43, the text says if someone becomes so impoverished as an Israelite that they have to sell themselves to you, you're not allowed to treat them as a slave. You have to treat them as a hired worker, and they're to remain with you until the year of Jubilee. Then the text goes in verse 44 to say, well, if you can't get slaves from Israelites, where are you supposed to get them from? And the text answers that question in 44 to 46 by saying, if you want a male or female slave, you have to get them from the nations around you, or from the Toshavim that are living in the land with you. You can treat these as, and that become your inheritable property. You treat them as slaves proper and pass them on as inheritance for life. But you can't treat fellow Israelites like this. Hang on just 1 second, pal. Hey, just once. Hey, hello, just 1 second. I can hear you. Just hang on 1 second, okay?
Yeah, I literally
Ma'am,
said hello once to clarify.
I'm not done.
Because
So then in 40, just go ahead and mute up. So in 47 to 55, to close out the chapter, then the text engages with the possibility that an Israelite becomes indebted and enslaved to, becomes indebted to and enslaved to, as a debt slave, to a Toshav that is living in the land with them. And that's the law is dealing with how an Israelite is supposed to be redeemed or can pay for the redemption himself. So that's what Leviticus 25 is about. Fuck around and find out. Go ahead.
Okay, let's go through that. Let's go from the verses that you highlighted in particular, 25, 44 to 46. Would you like to go ahead and read that again?
So did you know any of that, what I just said? We're clear?
Yes, I did.
So you knew all of that. So you could have walked us through that, but you decided not to.
Yeah.
Got it. Go ahead. Educate us. I'm excited.
I asked you, would you like to read that verse again? The verse that you
that's not what I asked you. Yeah, I know you didn't understand it. That's not what I asked you. But go ahead, please.
I just asked you to read the verse again.
Yeah.
Joshua,
you didn't know anything about Leviticus 25, but I just told you.
Intellectual capability.
No. I just assume your arrogance, right, and your inability to admit that you're wrong. But go ahead, please, Abe. Yeah, please, Abe. Oh, I don't have to. I'm just going to because I'm identifying. Yeah. That's great. Please, Abe, go ahead.
Yeah, can do. It says, as for the male and female slaves whom you may have, it is from the nations around you that you may acquire male and female slaves. You may also acquire them from among the aliens residing with you, and from your families who are with you, who have been born into your land. They may be your property. You may keep them as property, or you may keep them as a possession for your children after you, for them to inherit as property. These you may treat as slaves, but as for your fellow Israelites, no one shall rule over the other with harshness. So if this says you can own people as property, and chattel slavery is owning people as property, this is clearly saying you can own people as property. So this is definitely endorsing slavery.
Yeah. And so 44 to 46 is the hard text. And what I need you to understand as atheist is God is not creating an evil. He's regulating an existing evil. So he repeatedly
Why didn't he
frames
just say
Israel's
don't
law.
do the evil?
Let me finish.
Okay.
God repeatedly frames Israel's law as damage control, not moral perfection. The key precedent here is
Can you show us that? Just that much, where God says in the Hebrew Bible,
okay,
my law. Hey, listen to my question.
I'm literally about to
stop.
finish.
Yeah,
No,
just
Joshua.
No. I want you to not make
Don't mute me up.
I'm going to mute you because you're not listening.
No.
So don't make these goofy assertions, and then when people press you on them, say no. I want to finish and say something else. So I want you to show us in the Hebrew Bible. Yeah, I want you to show us in the yeah. I want you to show us in the Hebrew. Yeah, I want you to show us. Stop fighting the mute button. I'm just going to keep doing this. It's not going to be cute for you. So I just want you to show us in the Hebrew Bible, not in Matthew 19. I want you to show us in the Hebrew Bible where Yahweh says, my law is not perfection. I'm just regulating. Go ahead.
Can you now stop muting me?
Answer the question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me continue on this discourse.
No. Answer the question. You made a bold assertion, ma'am, and you're flatly wrong on it. And I want you to show us in the Hebrew. But yeah, Matthew 19 is the New Testament,
Moses
madam.
permitted you to divorce
madam.
He permitted you to divorce
we understand Matthew 19. Did you hear me say to you, not in Matthew 19?
But from the beginning,
did you hear me? Yeah, we got it. Okay, I tell you what, I'm going to let you go down this goofy ass path because you've heard Paul Copan say some shit before. So I want you, ma'am, to connect Matthew 19 to slavery in the passage, ma'am. It's about divorce. I want you to connect it to slavery. Go ahead.
Ancient law required masters to give slave rest. Number one. Number two.
That was true in the antebellum South. That was true in the antebellum South.
21, 26 to 27. If a man strikes the eye of his slave and
this is somebody that just doesn't know this topic at all. Yeah, somebody's just chat GPT and shit.
Can you let me speak?
No, I want you to answer the questions that you're being asked.
You're going to have to say something relevant here to what we're asking you. You're trying to go on a diatribe that nobody's even talking about right now.
I'm trying to frame to you exactly how God views.
Ma'am, we know Matthew 19 apologetics, right? We deal with it every day.
And I explained
That's
to you
why
Exodus
we're
20
asking.
and 21.
You didn't explain shit, right? You made an assertion and you're not backing up said claim.
The way a debate works is you make a proposition, we investigate.
Yeah, you did. And
then,
you said, God says that the law is imperfect and he's regulating. Then I said, show me that.
I didn't say God's law was imperfect. I said there is a difference between God regulating an existing evil, not creating one. So you need to listen,
No, that's
Joshua.
not what you said. That's what you said first.
But you need to listen.
Then you said second what I said. So the most recent thing that you said is what I said.
Because what you then need to understand is I made a very clear argument as to what we're talking about, but you then somehow managed to attribute to that to deviating. And that's why I said to you, I can understand that your daughter is calling your name in the back, but what I'm saying is very much on topic and it's very much
Please
on
don't
par.
comment on my daughter. Please don't comment on my daughter.
Well, clearly that's a distracting factor. So I think
it's not a distracting factor. You're getting cooked with that distraction in the background.
I think I should, in all honesty.
You think you should what?
Comment
on my children?
And then I presented you 2 chapters.
That's what you think you should do?
2 chapters and scriptures accompanying to then add.
Yeah, so I'm going to bring you back up in a second. But the problem is that you're not going to comment on my kids, right? And make statements about my kids in the background. That's not going to happen up here. So if you want to come back
No
up, go ahead and
stuff.
request. But that's all that shit is, right? Now we know about Matthew 19 apologetics. We know about Deuteronomy 24. Apologists do this all the time. If you're going to make that argument, fine. We'll go into your internal. We'll do an internal critique into your position. All you have to do, if you want to adopt Matthew 19 apologetics, is make the connection directly to slavery. Here's the problem. If you're going to say, well, look, God says in Matthew 19, right, that divorce is something that was not ideal. It was not something that was from the beginning. And so the way it is in Genesis, like this is the way it's supposed to be. And so this is God accommodating, right, and regulating and trying to bring the Israelites along. Fine. We'll go into that internal critique. We'll engage with that. Now, the problem that you're going to face, and when we bring you back up, what you're going to have to do is say, now, this is a principle, number one, in Matthew 19, something that I can apply broadly. And then two, I should apply it to slavery. And when you say I should apply it to slavery, want an argument for why.
Yes. God is regulating evil here, apparently. Never heard anybody say God allows and condones and regulates evil.
Hello.
Hey, you're here. Go ahead.
Once again, let's start from the beginning. In Matthew 19:8, right? Because you guys are referencing a scripture and you're saying that God condones these things. And because he condones it, am I right to assume that you then think that God is evil?
Yeah, he's condoning it.
Okay.
You know what the definition of the word condone is?
Okay, yep, great stuff. Okay, and that's
Can you
why
tell
I
us
brought
what
up
the
Matthew,
definition of
and
condoning
that's
is?
why, if you're saying that you're a middle school dropout, I don't think you should be able to.
Okay, Shan, listen.
Okay, you know what,
miss me
Joshua,
with all this.
if you
No,
could
miss
just
me
be
with all this
quiet,
bullshit.
if you could just be
because you didn't
quiet,
listen.
if
You didn't
you
listen
could just
to
be
anything
quiet,
that I said. Right. So
you
here's
could
what
just
you're
be-
gonna do. Yeah, I'm gonna drop your ass down
if
again.
you could
Right.
just
Because
be
you can't
quiet.
just listen. Yeah. All right. I'm just gonna drop your ass back down. Unless
Yeah,
you're gonna be
why?
quiet.
Your daughter's
Yeah. All right. So look. Because we're going to the playground, Goofy. So here's the issue, Shan. You didn't listen to anything that anybody said, right? So I'm going to say it a little more succinctly. Hopefully you can get it this time. What you need to do, we understand Matthew 19. We understand that argument. You don't have to walk us through it. We know it. We know it better than you do. Okay. So what you need to do is you need to be able to say, here is why. One, this is an actual principle and not just something about divorce. Two, here's why methodologically we should apply this to the social institution of slavery. That's what you got to do.
All right, do that, Sean. Sean.
Let's continue. That's why I brought the scripture. It establishes a principle. That's the whole point. That some laws
That's an assertion. Make the argument. That's an assertion. Make the argument.
And I will continue to do so. It exists because humans are sinful, not because the practice in itself is good. Slavery fits the same category. And that's why I then reference Exodus 20:10, right? There's no partiality between slaves and free people in the way that they're able to navigate. So on the Sabbath, you shall not do any work, you, your servant, or foreigners within your gates. What I'm trying to do is establish to you, comes to slavery, it's morally conditioned everywhere else. That's the whole point. So there is a consistency, or more of a consistency through scripture in the way that God actually allows the people, quote unquote, oppressed to be able to navigate. That's my whole point. If it was ever a case of, you need to beat your slaves, you need to treat your slaves illy because they are not Israelites, then I would understand what you're saying.
That literally says the opposite there. It says, these you may treat as slaves, but as for your fellow Israelites, no one shall rule over the other with harshness. This is making a clear distinction between
slavery
Israelites
is not treated
and everybody
as morally
else.
neutral anywhere else. In Isaiah 58:6, the Bible literally says, "Is this not the fast I choose, to loose the chains of the injustice and set the oppressed free?" I think it even...
That was the exiles.
Yeah, make the connection between injustice there and the social institution of slavery. Go ahead.
Where when God is either addressing the Israelites regarding slavery or regarding those who are under them in the way that they've been treating them, or in the way that they choose to navigate or lord themselves over people. And so the assertion that, yes, it's acceptable and God is evil because of this, it's completely backwards. It's taking it out of context. Yes, the context is clear in terms of what it means and what they're able to have. But you then making the proposition that God is evil because this happens within the lives of his people, it doesn't even make sense.
Just so that I understand, you're saying that the social institution of slavery in the Hebrew Bible by Yahweh is considered to be a form of injustice. Is that correct?
No, I didn't say a form of injustice.
Sorry, you went to Isaiah 58 to say, don't do injustice, and then you tried to connect that to slavery. So explain it to me.
And once again, it attacks slavery as a form of injustice, but I didn't say his laws are
so you said slavery is a form of injustice. Do you good grief.
Wow. Wow.
I literally said to you, it attacks it as a form of injustice, but not that his laws are a form of injustice. That's
yes. Did you hear my question? Is slavery a form of injustice in the Hebrew Bible?
Yes.
Great. So in Leviticus 25, 44 to 46, God is saying you may do injustice. Is that correct?
No, that's not correct. Once again, when we go back to once again,
no, stay with Leviticus 25, 44 to 46 and explain it to me. No. Stay with the passage, ma'am. Stay with the passage. How do you explain it, ma'am? We try to be a little honest here.
Goodness.
This is a very precise question.
Joshua, I'm going to ask you to mute up.
Ma'am,
I'm going to ask you.
I swear to God, like it takes a lot to get me riled up.
There's no point.
I really don't like arrogant people. And that's what this is. Yeah, you're just being unbelievably arrogant. Are you going to engage on this topic or no?
I'm going to engage on the topic, but you
great.
Keep muting.
So Leviticus 25, 44 to 46. Engage on that passage. Go ahead.
If you could stop muting me, that would be great.
Yeah, go ahead. Answer the question. Why is God allowing injustice and evil to continue by regulating it? We can't hear you.
You need to understand, in the ancient world, it already exists. It already exists.
Totally irrelevant point. Totally irrelevant point. Totally irrelevant point. It's not, ma'am. Okay, no, because you're making your relevant points to dodge. Listen, stop. Just stop. Just like this is ridiculous, Shan. You're getting tiring now. Yeah, I know it is. It is. Look,
stop speaking over me.
Yeah, no. Look, I don't sit up here and play around.
I understand.
With goofy, arrogant people.
I understand that you're.
Yeah, all right, look.
I understand that you're Aaron and he's...
Yeah, okay. So look, I'm going to do this.
Might as well. We're never going to get anywhere.
God. Look, and sorry, I'll leave so that you can have her back up and have a conversation because I'm about to have to run to Florida
anyway. So.
Oh, all right. Well, sorry. I didn't mean to come up here and take over.
I'm glad you did.
But gosh,
this has been the most action-packed hour we've ever had on the show.
Jesse, I just don't understand people that come up here, right? And they make very bold assertions, saying things about your education. And then when pressed on shit, they just dodge and go to something else in order to not have to engage with the actual text, right? This is what Paul Copan does. This is Frank Turk does. All these apologists, right? they're confronted with Leviticus 25, 44 to 46, and they're, yeah, but what you gotta know is that context. And if you think of Matthew 19 and God's not creating slavery, it's like, miss me with all that bullshit and actually deal with the text itself and what academics that are in the field are saying about it. That's all I'm asking. Is it too much? I don't know.
No,
Anyway.
no, it's not. But yeah, Sean, you're literally cooking. Well, is today the day for the insights to the Hebrew Bible?
Yeah, Megan gave her presentation yesterday, knocked it out of the park. It was brilliant. Yeah. She absolutely killed it. But today, and I think yesterday, Joel Baden presented, and I can't remember who else presented yesterday. Joel Baden, Ron Handel, yeah, David Carr, and then Megan. Megan was at 11 o'clock yesterday, and she just like crushed it. Anyway, I'm gonna go because the kids are gonna lose their mind even more
Dr. Josh,
if we don't take them. Thank you so much for having me up, Jesse.
Don't be silly. Thank you. Don't be silly. Thank you. Much luck to Dr. Josh with the presentation there. Sean, if you're still there, you have to realize what you're saying here. You're saying God is regulating evil. He's allowing evil to continue. If you're saying slavery is evil, God is allowing slavery. I mean, certainly you can see the connection here, but you can't even say God's just allowing this because it was an ancient thing that already stood, because he's clearly condemning a form of it. So he is capable of condemning the slavery altogether. He is capable of saying, this is bad, don't do it. And I actually would love to bring you back up, but I'm going to have to run, unfortunately. And of course, I have to run on the day that there's, what is that? 5 different people who look awesome trying to come up. But I have to make a 9-hour drive now. And, well, we got an hour in on the show, and what an action-packed hour that was. That was awesome. Anyway, guys, I'm so sorry I have to cut this short today. I would love to stay on for another hour or two and bring all these guests up, but I can't. But I will be back, and we'll cover some more. So if you're out there listening, sorry I couldn't get to you. I really, 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 really wish I could, but I can't. So anyway, guys, we'll catch y'all later. I'm about to make a drive here, but we'll be back. So, catch y'all later, I guess. Have a good one, guys.